out of here. We gotta get out of here. Now, right now.
Greetings, hello ladies and gentlemen, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 Nanmu Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex. I have the green variant here, and first of all, before we get into anything, I just want to send out a big shout out to my parents actually, because they gave me some money for my birthday, which I used to buy this T-Rex figure, so massive thank you to them. Now, if you guys have been staying tuned to the channel, you'll remember that last year we reviewed the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus from Nanmu, and now we have the JP3 T-Rex from them to go right along with it, and I'll show comparisons of them together later in the video. But first of all, I just wanted to say that I am absolutely sick and tired of companies making Jurassic Park T-Rexes. I am. I'm just gonna be bluntly honest. I feel like that's the first default thing that a lot of companies go to, is just to make the JP T-Rex over and over again, and I have been tired of it for like over a year now with all of the different ones coming out. But when I saw this one from Nanmu, I was just like, take my money. This is the one for me. This looks amazing. And I can confirm that, yes, this one does look absolutely incredible in hand. But without further ado, why don't we take a closer look at all those details on the sculpt. Now, first of all, across the body, we have some nice wrinkles and folds in the skin with some nice little warty scales spread about in different areas. I think it looks really nice overall. My one complaint with the body is that the seam lines on the legs and on the arms are a little bit more obvious than I feel like they could have been. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they did a really good job on the Spinosaurus with hiding the seam lines, so I feel like they could have done a little bit better with this T-Rex. I love the scales running down the front of the legs down into the toes with those bird-like scoots running down each of the toes. I also love how this foot that's being pushed back because the T-Rex is mid-stride here has the rightmost toe on the foot just kind of splayed completely off the ground. I think that's a really nice touch and adds a bit more character and flair to the overall look of this figure. The claws are all done in a black color with a gray dry brush, which I think looks really nice overall. And I mean, the colors here, of course, are inspired off of the Bull T-Rex / Buck T-Rex from The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. And the tones overall on this entire figure just look beautiful. It's way more saturated and vibrant in hand, and I hope that the camera picks that up well, because I just pulled this thing out of the box and I was like, man, this is absolutely gorgeous. The underbelly also has some beautiful scalation patterns running down that I think looks really, really nice amidst all those wrinkles and folds. Once again, it just feels like a maquette that came right out of the production of the film. It really does. Nanmu has just knocked this thing out of the park detail-wise. But then moving into my favorite part of this entire sculpt, let's start with the neck and we'll go up into the head in a second, but just look at the detailing there. I mean, it speaks for itself. I really don't have to say much. It's just so intricately done. It's gorgeous. But then when we move into the head, just, oh, look at that. Just look at that. All of those beautifully done scales. I love the different sizes, especially going up the ridges, up the snout, and over the eyes. The changing style and shaping of the scales just brings so much life to this figure. And the eye done in that glossy color just really pops, and with a black ring around it really brings attention to it. I love the darker green tones around the eye on the face to really bring attention to the area as a whole. If you look at this figure straight on too, it's a little bit derpy because every figure's paint job with the eyes is going to be a little bit different, but you can get that classic JP T-Rex binocular vision down. And I think it looks pretty cool on mine, although, like I said, still looks a little derpy. And this figure does indeed have an articulated jaw, and I had a hard time opening this articulated jaw. It was stuck in there when I got this figure. I had to run this guy's head under hot water for like 5 minutes and then pry the jaw open with a butter knife, because that's how stuck it was, which is pretty insane. That is the most stiff articulated jaw I've ever had on a figure before, but it is working pretty nicely now. You can see it still kind of clicks into 2 positions, but overall it looks really nice. and it melds pretty well when you actually shut it, and I love those teeth just overlapping the bottom jaw. It looks so gorgeous. But opening the jaw once again, you can take a look at those teeth. The shaping on these teeth are done beautifully, and they're all molded in that semi-transparent plastic with a glossy finish. Nanmu has the absolute best teeth I have ever seen on any dinosaur models to date. I'm not even joking. These are incredible, and especially in hand. You can really tell they're going for more of the collectible status with these figures because I could really cut myself badly on these teeth if I wanted to push hard enough, which I'm not going to, of course, and I don't recommend you do that either if you get this figure, but it's just insane how much work they put into making those teeth look realistic in comparison to the rest of the figure, which I feel like some other companies really need to focus on. The interior of the mouth is also detailed beautifully and is complete with a fleshy pink color, a dark reddish pink wash across the entire mouth to really bring out that detailing in there, and then to top it off, a really nice glossy finish to give it a genuine wet look of saliva, and it looks absolutely gorgeous in there. I really don't know what else to say. The only other thing I wanted to mention with this T-Rex is the pose. The pose is beautiful and it complements the Spinosaurus really nicely, which I will compare those two, of course, in just a little bit in the video. But my one problem is because of that extra lifted toe on its right leg, it's not as stable as the Spinosaurus, which I'm a little bit torn on because I like the extra bit of flair and personality to the look with that toe curling off the ground. But at the end of the day, I do think I would prefer just a tad bit more stability over that little extra visual flair, just to ensure this figure doesn't take a nosedive off my shelf at any given point. It's stable enough, but just for how expensive and heavy this piece is, by the way, yes, it is extremely heavy. I think I would have preferred just to have that foot a little more flat on the ground for extra stability. But anyway, I think that covers my overall thoughts on this Nanmu Alpha Tyrannosaurus Rex figure. At the end of the day, Jurassic Park fans, get it. Get this figure, I'm not joking. This is the single most beautiful Jurassic Park T-Rex piece that I have seen for the price that's out there, so I highly recommend it. It also comes in a classic Jurassic Park brown variant, which I'm sure people who are familiar with Nanmu have seen before, but I just chose the green Lost World / Jurassic Park 3 variant to go with my Spinosaurus. Anyway, in case you're wondering how large this figure is, from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, we are looking at approximately 16 inches long, which is right around 40 centimeters, and in terms of the height at the highest point, which is the top of the head, we are looking at right about 6.5 inches, which is around 16 centimeters. And for a comparison, here it is with Nanmu's Spinosaurus. And oh my goodness, I just love the way these two look together. For those of you who don't know how I got into dinosaurs, it was because of Jurassic Park 3 when my parents showed it to me when I was quite young. So the Spinosaurus is very special to me, of course, that's why it's my favorite dinosaur. But the T-Rex also is just so cool to have from that iconic and quite controversial scene from the third Jurassic Park. So it's just so awesome to have these two together. My one thing that I would like to say is I would either like this T-Rex to be a tad bit smaller or this Spino to be a tad bit bigger, so these two figures were equally sized at the very least, because this Spinosaurus overall is just the tiniest bit smaller than the Tyrannosaurus figure. But at the end of the day, they look really cool next to each other regardless, so I'm not complaining too much. Also, if you haven't seen my review on this Nanmu Spinosaurus, go check it out. I'll put it in a little card above the video there so you can click on it if you want. I put a lot of work into that video last year, so do check it out. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this review of the Nanmu 2020 Tyrannosaurus Rex Alpha green variant. Like I said, Jurassic Park fans, give this figure a shot. Get it. It is amazing. Thank you so much for sticking through this review if you made it the whole way, and I'll catch you all in my next video. So take care, and bye-bye.